There are certain things a wise man will never say to a woman, no matter how close they are, how deep the relationship runs, or how much he trusts her. Not because he's hiding something, but because he understands one simple truth. Words, once spoken, can't be taken back. And in the wrong moment, to the wrong ears, even the truth can turn into a weapon. The modern world often celebrates openness. Say what's on your mind, they say. Be honest. But honesty without wisdom is recklessness. A wise man knows the weight his words carry. He understands that silence can be stronger than speech, and mystery more powerful than explanation. So, here are 5 things you'll never hear a wise man say to a woman, because once he does, something sacred starts to shift. 1. I don't need you. He might feel independent, he might be fully capable of living on his own, but a wise man never utters these words, not even in anger, because women don't just hear what you say, they feel what you mean. Saying, I don't need you, doesn't prove strength. It exposes emotional immaturity. A woman doesn't want to feel owned, but she does want to feel cherished, like her presence matters. A wise man knows that saying this builds a wall no apology can tear down. 2. You're just like my ex. Even in the heat of conflict, even when she's doing the exact thing his ex did that drove him crazy, a wise man never makes this comparison. Why? Because it instantly turns her into a reflection of someone who's already failed in his life. It kills the present by dragging in the ghosts of the past. A woman doesn't want to be someone's emotional sequel. A wise man knows how to express his feelings without turning love into a courtroom where every past relationship is evidence. 3. You wouldn't understand. This one may sound small, but it's deadly. Saying this creates an emotional distance that's hard to bridge. It tells her, you're on the outside, and I don't believe you're capable of standing beside me. Whether it's about work, pain, dreams, or failure, he knows better than to shut her out like that. A wise man may not reveal everything, but he never makes her feel like she's too small to hold space for his truth. 4. You're overreacting. It may feel like she's being emotional, it may seem irrational to him. But when a man tells a woman she's overreacting, what he's really saying is, your emotions are invalid, and that creates a wound far deeper than the situation that sparked it. A wise man doesn't try to win arguments by making her feel crazy. He listens, he observes, and when he disagrees, he does so with empathy, not dismissal. 5. I regret being with you. The ultimate betrayal. Sometimes said in a moment of anger, sometimes after a heated fight. But these words cut deeper than any insult. A wise man knows that even if the relationship is breaking down, even if it's nearing the end, saying this isn't honest. It's cruel. Because at some point, love did exist. Memories were made. Time was shared. And erasing it all with a single sentence says more about his own lack of maturity than it does about her. He respects the story, even if it didn't end well. A wise man understands that what's left unsaid can preserve peace, dignity, and connection more than any argument ever could. But here's the deeper truth. It's not just about what he doesn't say. It's about why he doesn't say it. There's a discipline that only comes with age or pain, a quiet kind of intelligence that doesn't need to prove itself. And when it comes to the people he loves, especially the woman in his life, he becomes intentional, careful, and most of all, aware. Here's what drives that wisdom even further. 1. He knows words shape how a woman sees herself. A careless comment, even if said jokingly, can echo in her mind for years. A woman might smile and brush it off, but she won't forget the moment he made her feel small. A wise man understands that his words can become her inner voice. So he never uses them to belittle, compare, or fix her. He uses them to lift, to clarify, to love. Silence, in the right moment, is more respectful than sarcasm. 2. He chooses peace over ego. It's tempting to win during an argument, to say that one line that shuts the other person down. But a wise man has learned, often through painful experience, that winning the argument can mean losing the person. So instead of saying what proves his point, he says what preserves the bond. Or he says nothing at all, because he knows this: being right isn't worth being alone. 3. He separates emotion from impulse. Many men speak from the wound, not the heart. And in that moment, everything comes out twisted, meaner than it needs to be, colder than intended. A wise man feels just as deeply, but he lets the fire burn down before speaking. He journals, he thinks, he walks alone until his storm becomes a stream. And when he finally speaks, it's not from impulse, it's from clarity. That's where respect is born. 4. He knows trust is built in quiet moments, not just in big declarations or dramatic apologies, but in everyday restraint, in the way he doesn't throw her past in her face, in how he never uses her insecurities against her, in how he never says, "You're just like your mother," during a fight. A wise man knows if a woman shares her fears with you, that's sacred ground. And you don't stomp on sacred ground, no matter how angry you are. 5. He protects her heart, even when he's hurting. This is the hardest part, when he's disappointed, when he feels betrayed, when he feels unseen. Even then, he doesn't lash out. He may express, he may withdraw, but he won't attack. He's been on the receiving end of careless words before, and he remembers how long it took to rebuild. So instead of transferring the pain, he transforms it. He lets the fire refine him, not consume her. A wise man has lived long enough to know this. Love is not about how loud you say, "I love you." It's about how gently you treat what someone else loves about themselves. It's easy to say everything you feel, to speak without filters, to be honest without compassion. But that kind of honesty, that's not love. It's ego dressed in truth. A wise man has learned that silence can be an act of mercy, that restraint can be the highest form of strength, and that there's power in keeping certain thoughts, criticisms, and emotions tucked away, not because he's afraid to share them, but because he values peace over pride. He knows this too. Sometimes what you don't say becomes the very reason someone feels safe with you, because while the world tears people down, a wise man becomes a shelter. While others criticize, he understands. Where others dominate, he listens. And in a world full of noise, his silence becomes a sanctuary. It takes maturity to know that just because you can say something doesn't mean you should. It takes emotional intelligence to know that timing is everything, and that love without patience quickly turns into control. It takes deep wisdom to know that protecting someone's soul is more important than proving your point. And above all, it takes courage, real courage, to be a man who doesn't just know how to speak well, but who knows when not to speak at all. So if you're watching this and wondering why certain relationships slip away, ask yourself, did I value being heard more than being kind? Did I choose to prove myself or protect what we had? Sometimes growth doesn't come from saying more, but from saying less with greater meaning. The most powerful men are not the loudest. They're the ones who understand the power of gentleness, the beauty of restraint, and the silent language of love. And that is the kind of man who never has to convince anyone of his worth, because the way he lives says it all.